Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Tom, the boss is an integral part to any business. You know, if you're the head honcho, I feel like everyone has something to say about you.
Yes, yeah.
You're kind of in the limelight there.
You are. You're the center of attention, even if you don't want to be.
Oh, literally, everyone has an opinion about you. You know, they want to say something. You're up there on the pedestal. But, you know, this could be in the form of funny nicknames. And we've started launching, I mean, we've been doing it a little bit now, calling our boss a particular nickname, and I guess we forget that there's mics in front of us sometimes because we've said it on air.
Yeah, you would have heard us call him this, the corporate fat cat.
Yeah, he is the corporate fat cat. I think that term corporate fat cat has just been around so long that we've seen it in a movie or something and they just adopted it straight away. They're like, yeah, that's a great nickname for, you know, our boss who comes in with a suit and tie, you know.
He's not the first corporate fat cat and he won't be the last.
But it's just such a classic nickname. And, you know, we didn't tell him for a while. And, you know, it became common terminology around the office saying, oh, the corporate fat cat's going to come downstairs. Oh, can you hear the corporate fat cat purring in the other room? And then it started to go to more cat gags and things like that until we did it on air, Tom. We mentioned it. And then he pulled us aside, the corporate fat cat himself, brought us into the cat house. And he's taken us aside. He's like, it was a little bit intimidating at first because he says, what's this nickname I've heard? And we say...
That's how he said it, though. Yeah, we're translating for you.
We had to get a translator in. We hired him, a cat translator. But, we said, oh, yeah, we've been calling you the corporate fat cat. And then he's like, I like it. He turns around and he's like, I like that.
He likes the corporate fat cat. So we got away with it there. But what we do want to do in a minute is open up the text line. What do you call your boss behind their back?
I mean, do they like it as well? I mean, our corporate fat cat boss, he liked it so much that he said, keep calling me that.
Yeah, he's actually asked people to refer to him as the corporate fat cat.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't make his own name badge and stick it on himself, or, you know, a little plaque in his office where
on
it
his
says
door.
His name, corporate fat cat. But yes, what do you call your boss?
Plenty of people getting involved on the text line right now, Callum.
That's it, Tom. We got this one here. We call our manager Bigfoot because sightings are so rare. Not bad at all.
I love this one. This is insane. I don't know if this is even true. Morning legends, no word of a lie. That's exactly how you'd start something off if it's a lie. No word of a lie. Worked with a guy named Wayne Bruce. Not a boss and not behind his back. Called him Man Bat, lol.
I like how the text specifically was about what do you call your boss, but, you know, on the...
Had to get the Wayne Bruce gag in.
Man's been cooking on the Wayne Bruce joke for a long time and wanted someone to hear it. This one here.
Ridiculous.
Call my boss Les Mis because she comes across as so damn miserable. How good.
I haven't heard that one before. Creative. Another text here. We used to call our old boss the Big Kahuna. That's a good one to have, isn't it?
Yeah, not bad. I think that must be a positive light one. It has to be, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Ultimate respect to the Big Kahuna. We got this one here, Tom. We're all chippies. We call our boss the Terminator because he always says, I'll be back. Pretty sure he's always off taking a break at the pub.
As you do. Somebody else has texted in here saying they'd prefer to stay anonymous. Some of us used to call one of my old bosses Cruella. She looked like she was evil, only nice to her favourites.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Going around with the Dalmatian, you know, it was just, it was proof in the pudding. Had to call her that.
There was no bring your work. Oh, there would have been bring your dog to work day.
1,000 of them.
We're talking about sleep.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
It's no secret around the office I'm a little bit of a sleepy boy.
Yep. Find you on the couch, find you on the beanbag, find you standing up.
Blessing and a curse, because I can fall asleep anywhere, can sleep through anything, but you know, sometimes it does mean I'm sleeping through alarms and stuff like that, which can lead to strife.
Well, I will say one thing I have said on air before, but you have fallen asleep during an earthquake in New Zealand.
Okay, you can stop bringing up the earthquake.
It's insane. It's an earthquake. It shook the bed.
I don't even think it was that big of an earthquake.
Well, you were asleep, so you wouldn't know.
Because it wasn't that big of an earthquake. No, but there is this sleep doctor who has come out with some techniques on how to help you get to sleep, because I mean, like anyone, I feel like everyone goes through this, right? Where you can be sitting on the couch at home in the lounge room watching TV and falling asleep, being like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired as."
Yeah.
You get into bed, you turn the lights off, you get comfortable, and then immediately you're wide awake.
Oh, 100%. It's the classic. Probably you're getting up, you're standing up now, blood is rushing around. You do things, hop on your phone, all of a sudden you're perked up.
And look, if counting sheep isn't working for you either, here are some quick alternatives to help you get to sleep in a matter of seconds.
Sure.
So first one, which is a bit of a dietitian part of it, which is it could be like a healthy alternative for dessert, but this sleep doctor reckons you should eat some bananas because they're rich in tryptophan, which is also in turkeys, helps you get to sleep. And also eat some yogurt because of their blend of calcium and protein, supports melatonin production, promoting restful slumber.
Right, okay.
So there you go. Bananas and yogurt before bed can help you get there.
Not terrible things to eat. If it was just turkey, you'd be a bit of strife. Having a turkey dessert every night just to get a sound night's sleep.
It'd be a lot. And then, of course, another one, cut down your exposure to blue light. You know, that's all like TVs, phone screens, everything like that. So that one's pretty tough to cut down on for people because what you want to do when you get home before bed is relax.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to cut out that and you don't really like bananas or yogurt, there's another technique. It's a breathing technique. It's called the 4-7-8 breathing technique. And it's pretty special by the sounds of it. He reckons this technique is simple, but it will reduce your stress and anxiety before bedtime and help you fall asleep in a matter of seconds.
Cool. So this researcher swears by this one. We're going to test it out and see if it actually does make you tired.
Yeah, so we'll do it together. So it's 4-7-8.
Right.
You inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8.
Okay, yeah, let's try it.
All right, are you ready? Inhale. And we're holding. And we're holding. And exhale.
I mean, I don't think it worked for me. I still fight. Tom, you're not asleep. Tom, man, Tom, wake up! You're on radio. Wake up!
Where are we? I thought I was riding a dragon.
Hey.
Over the weekend, WWE went to Perth.
Yeah, massive. It was the first time in 6 years it's been to Australia.
Yeah, right. And it's just weeks out from WrestleMania as well, which is obviously their big draw card. All of the wrestlers come in to see who will be the champion of the WWE. And while over there, there's a certain YouTuber who has turned professional wrestler, Logan Paul.
Yes.
Now, if you don't know who Logan Paul is, he started on Vine, which was the TikTok before TikTok, and then got really popular on that, started a YouTube channel, got really popular on that. He's been in a bit of hot water throughout his career, but he appeared to turn straight almost.
Yeah, you know what? Logan Paul has been around for a long time when you think about it. I feel like he kicked off years and years ago, and he's only gotten more and more popular. One of the more accoladed YouTubers out of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with WWE, as we know, wrestling, they put on a persona.
Sure.
Right? It's not the actual person. It's not what they're like in real life. They amp it up for, the show. And when Logan Paul dropped in Perth, he had some choice words to say about the city. I mean, stuff like...
I said, when they told me we were coming to Perth, I said, hey, we got to go to Sydney instead. I mean, even Taylor Swift went to Sydney instead of this dump.
So, right out of the gates, he called Perth a dump.
Even the scariest of wrestlers, even the Undertaker hasn't gone to the links of bagging out a city.
No, whole city.
It's been quite controversial there.
And it didn't stop there. It got even worse, you could say. He said this.
Google the top 10 things to do as a tourist in Perth. And number 1 is go visit an island full of rats. Not so different from you people, huh?
So good. And you know what? I love how, we're very patriotic towards our native animals like the kangaroos and stuff. I feel like he's referring to the quokkas over in Rottnest Island.
Yeah.
Damn, they're cute. And for that reason, the Perth people are going to be a little bit pissed off when you call them rats.
Yeah, absolutely. And it still didn't stop there.
We legit in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of the ocean. I swear to God, I'd rather be stranded in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, so safe to say he riled up the Perth crowd pretty bad, and Perth is one of those funny ones, isn't it? Because we sort of have a bit of a rivalry with them. I'd say our rivalry with Victoria is probably stronger, but we always put together with Perth, Adelaide and Perth. They say they're almost the same city, right?
Well, that's the thing, because I've never been to Perth, and whenever I say that to people and I say, oh, I've never actually been, what's it like? People always turn around and say, oh, it's pretty similar to Adelaide. So there breeds the rivalry. Yeah, there breeds the rivalry where it's like, no, you can't be that similar. We're unique. And then they say the same thing and it starts this huge fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I think it's really funny what Logan Paul has gone and said, especially the rat thing.
The rat thing was great.
Had me in tears. But we do want to know, Adelaide, 1300 737374. We've opened up the phone lines. What Aussie city do you have a grudge against?
I mean, because there's a little bit of truth to what Logan's saying in his head. He's obviously done his research.
Yeah.
He wants to bag out Perth. But yeah, what city do you have a gripe with? I think a huge one is Canberra, you hear about.
Yeah.
Everyone has a gripe with Canberra. I had a mate that moved there for uni, got into a great degree, law at ANU, and then he just said, nah, couldn't hack it.
Couldn't hack it
so
anymore.
Boring.
Lives in Victoria now.
Great degree, but I had to leave. There was only one nightclub there or something, so he went over to Melbourne where it was a bit, more bustling.
I gotta say, I've got a bit of a gripe with Sydney, and
okay.
I've only been there a few times in my life. I probably haven't given it the chance it deserves, but I just don't like how up and downhill the whole place is.
That's an underrated comment because everyone attacks Sydney for the traffic.
Yeah.
Everyone forgets how damn hilly it is.
It's so hilly.
It's good on the calves, but geez, at the end of the day, you need a massage for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, we've opened up the phone lines, Adelaide. What Aussie city do you have a grudge against? And tell us why. Had a few texts come through, though. Somebody's texted in here saying, I have a grudge against Melbourne. Lost the V plates there when I was in the military. One of the most unpleasant times of my life. That's come in from Derek. Thanks.
Seems like more of a personal issue as opposed to,
Not the city.
disliking the infrastructure of Melbourne. Someone here said, this one's interesting, Tom. Our own city, Adelaide, the roadworks, closing down nightclubs, and they got a jam Berliner the other day that had no bloody jam in it.
Shame.
Nah. I won't have it. You won't talk trash about Adelaide on our show.
My sweet Adelaide.
Shame.
Plenty more texts are rolling through, but let's head over to the phone lines. We've got Smurf from Cheltenham on the line. Smurf, what Australian city do you have a grudge against?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Okay. Yeah. So what is it? The standard thing, with the
Yeah, the traffic is terrible, especially when you have a four-wheel drive. Don't recommend driving over there in it,
Smurf,
especially going through the city.
Do you go to Melbourne often? Do you have family over there or anything?
I've got family. I haven't been for a little while. My inner nerd, we went over there for a gaming convention, was the last trip. Not recommended.
Yeah, cool. And speaking of the driving...
And the coffee. The coffee isn't even that great. We have way better coffee here in Adelaide. Yeah.
Interesting opinion, yeah, because they do pride themselves on that. Speaking of the driving, Smurf, how would you rate them as drivers compared to Adelaide in their skill level?
Oh, a 2.
A 2?
2.
Jeez.
Right.
Yeah, you know what?
They are terrible.
I don't like how you have to go left to turn right and vice versa. That's a confusing one.
Stupid.
Isn't it just? Hey, Smurf.
It's just outrageous.
Thanks so much for getting involved this morning, Smurf. We appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Hey, we've got Dina in Warradale on the line. Dina, do you have an Australian city you hold a grudge against?
Yeah, the Gold Coast.
The Goldie.
Jeez, I love the Gold Coast. What's your gripe with that one?
Oh, the beaches down there are hideous. You have to be jumping waves every few seconds or they knock you over.
Yeah,
You just can't go in for a nice swim like you can here where the water is like glass and flat.
It is much tougher, isn't it?
Sunsets over the hills there. What's that all about?
Part of the thrill, Dina, with the waves. What do you think of the beaches, on the strip where there's all these, big skyscraper kind of buildings and stuff? Does that piss you off as well?
Well, that's my other grudge against the Gold Coast is once the sun, 3 o'clock, there's no sun on the beach because of all the high rises.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Geez, Callum is fuming over here,
Yeah.
Dina. You've hit him right in his core this morning.
I'll have to return my Gold Coast Speedos, hand them over. Tom, it's the classic thing you see in a movie when you move into a new house and there's a bunch of dark secrets. You know, the real estate agent hasn't told you that there used to be an axe-wielding maniac who went into the house or something.
It was built on a pet cemetery.
Exactly right, and they leave that detail out. However, I'm experiencing this right now on a similar level.
Yeah, right.
So-
What level are we on? Are we at Pet Cemetery yet? Or?
Maybe if Pet Cemetery's a 10, I'd say an 8.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
It's an inconvenience, really.
Okay.
But so pretty much I've moved into a rental in Parkside.
Yeah.
And throughout being there for the last 3 weeks or something, there's been a bunch of power outages.
Yeah,
And this is
okay.
going across all of Parkside. It's not just my house that, you know, for maybe even like 2 hours at a time, it's sort of cutting the power off and stuff.
Yeah, and do you have your own breaker box, or...?
Yeah, but it's
okay.
like, it didn't do anything. It's just like power's completely out, right?
Yeah, right. All
so
right.
I'm wondering what the hell is going on because I've only been there for 3 weeks.
Yeah, did your housemate have any answers?
No.
Nah,
She just said like, oh, it happens from time to time.
Everyone's
So-
in the dark about it.
Yeah, no one's...
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly right. No one's had any inkling until Tom get a text from the council last night.
Yeah, okay.
And this is where they've come out and, you know, explained everything. They obviously know the city is up rallying against them.
Yeah.
And they want answers. Parkside wants answers now. Why can't I charge my phone at 3 a.m.?
So what have the council said? What's the issue? Why are you getting power outages?
Get this right. So they've sent a text in, and they're like, you may be wondering why there's power outages. Outages are due to animal impact, specifically bats.
Bats.
So bats have been flying in flocks into power lines, and it's pretty brutal. They've been flying into power lines and ruining all the circuits and stuff.
Yeah, right, okay.
And it feels as if like I've hired a crummy person to install a washing machine because in the text they say, oh, by the way, the outages might last between 60 seconds to a few hours. So they've given a huge parameter on the window of when, you know, things will be
Depends how many
fixed.
bats are flying at at any one time.
But the funniest part, looking at this text, in quote, this is literally what it says. We work with bat scientists to understand bat behaviour to stop the outages related to animal impact. Who are the bat scientists of Adelaide? And it sounds like the Thai cave rescue or something, that they've got all these scientists from around the world to like band together so they can fix the bat problem in Parkside.
I would have said it sounded more like a B-grade movie where like Alfred Hitchcock's Birds, except it's bats taking out power lines.
Like fighting a huge prehistoric bat or something, and then it signs off, right? And it's like, we'll keep in contact with you from Kim and the team. Who the hell's Kim? And why is he
Kim's the lead scientist.
the lead scientist of the bat operation? It's crazy.
I've got to say, I'm not angry. I'm not even disappointed. I'm mostly upset with myself. Because when it comes to movies, what would you say an adequate amount of time is before you can spoil it?
Jeez, maybe 5 years is like I hold it pretty close to my chest. Like I think spoilers are a big deal, you know.
See, I would say 2 years is pretty fair.
Do you reckon?
I would say 2 years is a fair amount of time to go see one movie.
I think it also depends on how popular it is. I think the more popular it is, the shorter the time. Like if it's kind of a niche movie, then it becomes malicious to spoil it for someone because it's unlikely they're just going to stumble across it on the internet. You're out for blood when you do that.
Well, I'm not talking niche movies. I'm talking about James Bond, No Time to Die. Which is the latest in the franchise, and it came out in 2021.
Hey, big movie. Haven't seen that one. I think I got up to Spectre.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I've seen every other one, but I just haven't gotten around to it, to be honest.
Cool.
But yeah, 2021, which isn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things, but I feel like there's been enough time for me to go and watch this movie. I've had plenty of opportunities to watch this movie, and I haven't. But my parents, they just watched it recently. And as parents do, they decided, you know what? Let's have a debrief session the next day in the afternoon. And they're talking in the house, they're talking about it, and I can hear them start chatting about how they just watched it the night before.
Yeah, okay.
And then I start to figure out where this conversation's going. I start to see what's in store for me unless I start to quickly scramble and look for something to drown them out.
Yeah, okay. So what's the technique to drown him out? Are you looking for some earmuffs around the house, putting some music in? What's the go?
I grabbed my phone, started looking for something to listen to or to watch.
It's impossible. It's impossible. You can't drown out the noise if that's what you're focusing on.
I don't know what I've done to technology, but the minute I tried to get my phone up, nothing was working.
It just went to a James Bond recap video.
Wi-Fi wouldn't connect, my data wouldn't connect, I had no bars, and I'm like, come on, give me something here. And then I hear it. I'm in my room, and they're all the way down the other end of the house, and I hear it, and they go, I just can't believe the ending. I just can't believe...
Well, just unloaded it.
Unloaded it, yeah,
God,
in
what are
full
they doing
force.
it the next morning for? Why couldn't they do it at night, the night before when the movie
After
finishes?
the movie, yeah.
Well, I'm so tired I can't recap the final 5 minutes of James Bond.
So, I mean, what do you think? Is the grace period over? 2021? Is that fair game? For
I don't
them
think
to
it's
have
fair
spoiled
game.
It?
I think
it was inadvertent as well.
Yeah, I think it's an accidental mishap. It's unfortunate that it happened. I think I don't think it's malicious, but geez, put some soundproof padding up if you're going to be talking about James Bond spoilers.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.